I'll go.
What's going on, Star Wars Unlimited fans? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to do a quick video. I want to show 3 already crazy strong decks that I think are going to be pretty good in set 5, Legends of the Force. 2 of them are going to have set 5 leaders, and then one of them is going to be the Han Solo set 2 leader. I just think that leader is going to get exceptionally better, although he's already very good in set 5, because there's just so many units that if you play them for 1 less, even with damage on them, they'll be really good. So I'm going to show off that deck. I built these kind of just randomly throwing stuff in there. I didn't really think too much about these decks. I didn't put the pen to paper about any of these really. I just kind of put together what I thought would be really sick based off what's already been revealed. We already have some great cards that have been revealed that if the set was released today, I honestly think it would be good enough. Obviously we're still missing a lot, but I think set 5 is going to bring a power creep that we haven't seen maybe since set 1. I do think that a lot of the units that have been revealed so far are way above power level than most of the sets. A lot of these 2 cost, units with a 4 HP butt or a 5 HP butt. They're going to make the huge difference in this next set, because it's going to make things like Tarkin Town feel less effective. And I just overall think this set's going to be insane. So why don't we get right into it. First, before we go through the video, please subscribe if you like the content. I really appreciate all the new subscribers. We've had actually a good flow of people hop into the Discord. Our 2-to-base Discord link is going to be in the bio. Shout out to the Haven Games, our sponsor, for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for 10% off of your SWU sealed products, go to the website linked to the Haven below as well. And I really appreciate you guys for stopping by. So let's get right into it. So first one, I know we did a video of live gameplay. I did some Carabas games with this deck. This is the deck, and I'm going to put all 3 lists in the description below. So starting off with this one, I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. So Avar Chris. Strangled Cliffs, 28 HP base. When you're attacking with your Force units, you're getting your Force tokens. So I'll start off the rip. This deck isn't trying to get Avar Chris out, turn 5 resource, turn 6 resource, turn. It's not really honing in on Chris coming out. She really just kind of, hopefully you get to the late game and you're able to deploy her. Some games you're not even able to deploy her. But I'll tell you this, with the package that we're running in this deck, your main goal really is to get Jedi Consular out turn 1 if you can. That way you're playing your stuff cheaper. It's really good. You can play Jedi Consular turn 1, and then you can use his ability to play Infused Brawler, which only comes out as a 2/2 if you do it that way, but he comes in free, so you can bring him out and either put a lightsaber on him or play like a Luke Skywalker. So there's ways to resource cheat where you're playing units cheaper with Consular, and then you're just stabilizing with Obi-Wan, having a Sentinel out, maybe you're throwing a General's Blade on him. You're making it hard for your opponent to get through to the base starting out. You want to put more than 1 unit out a turn, preferably, to avoid these Power of the Dark Sides, because this deck likes to put beefier units out. So going through the list a little bit, I'll just kind of give a brief rundown of it. So there's really no insane combos here. There are really tricky plays, you have Force Throw to your advantage. I have the Open Fires in here. There is the 1-cost card that's red that does 3 damage if you use the Force. I need to put that in here. I'm not sure the name of the card. You can hit me in the comments and let me know the name of the card. I totally forgot. But it's very good. That needs to be in here. I kind of missed that. So that's 2 1-cost cards that are doing good damage. Force Throws doing whatever they discard or you discard. Preferably you're Force Throwing your opponent. I know we have Ki-Adi-Mundi in here, so we can draw the 2 cards and use the Force when we play him. What feels really amazing is when you Jedi Consular, basically Jedi Consular into any of these units is amazing, specifically Kiadi Mundi, because you can turn 1 Jedi Consular, turn 2 play a Kiadi and draw 2 cards. I mean, that right there is amazing. My advice is to try to get Luke Skywalker out with cheating Jedi Consular first before you do anything, if you're able to, because he's going to get very big over time. Like, you're giving Luke a shield and an XP token every time you play a unique unit. The sooner you get him down, everything basically in here is unique, so you're always going to hit, except for the Jedi Consular and the Infused Brawler, I think, are the only two. So I would suggest getting Luke out very early, so that way we can start building his XP and getting him big. He is a big problem in this deck if people just ignore him. He comes out with a 5 booty, so he's really not going to die off the bat unless somebody, like, if you like CAD, Forlom, ambush into it maybe, or takedown. But that's the goal of like trying to play him early with Jedi Consular and cheat him out, is so that way we can play him ahead of curve a little and give him that XP token to get him out of that takedown range and keep him safe for at least a turn or two. He's great for trading out units because you get the shield on Luke and you can trade those units. I've got some ramp in here to help us get to the Avar Chris deploy. On average, I think we're getting her out mostly on the 7 resource turn if things lined up correctly. You don't want to be greedy and not ramp. There's games where I feel like I just resource the ramp constantly. It's possible that resupply might not be that good and you can take those out and just put 3 sparks instead. They're going to want to kill your units. They're going to kill your Obi-Wan Sentinel. Maybe you just hold on to the Spark of Hope to do that 1 ramp. That 1 ramp is going to make all the difference to get Avar Chris out. So I think that that's really important to hold on to. So I'm not sure on the ramp yet. Obviously, it's really important to get this 9 deploy leader out and get the value out of your leader. I think using the Force with her alone is amazing and brings enough value to get you ahead and get you cards. You never have to act. You never have to worry about the action of attacking to get your Force token. So it's possible that this leader doesn't even need to run the 28 HP base. I just like it because instead of having to gain the Force after I've already done, let's say I play Kiadi Mundi and I draw the 2 cards, use my Force token. I like being able to save the action and claim. On 30 HP base, I found that just already in testing that I'm missing initiative almost every single turn, and sometimes you just need initiative. You want to be able to have that initiative and your Force token. So knowing all your units are basically Force, you're always going to have that token when you attack. I do have 2 Bright Hope in here because I needed some kind of space. Again, I don't even have a sideboard built. This is very way too early, but I like it so far. So when she deploys, it's pretty obvious she has an 8. She's swinging for 8 no matter what because you're using the Strangled Cliffs base, and the triggers work on attack. You'll get that token first. It'll move her power up to 8. It's insane. Getting her out and putting a lightsaber on her the same turn is just insane. You get to heal if you're using the constructed lightsaber. The General's Blade, you're playing stuff for cheaper. Late in the game, obviously, it probably doesn't matter, but man, this deck is pretty fun. Mace Windu doing 4. It's basically a built-in open fire with the new Mace Windu unit. So play him, you do 4 damage to a unit. I mean, that's very good. Kelren, he's basically like a U-Wing reinforcement, but you're dropping a 7/7 on the ground instead of just playing an event. So you get your big unit and you get another unit. So late in the game like that, you're probably playing an Obi-Wan to get Sentinel. That's probably your best target for him. Other than that, maybe you're playing an Infused Brawler, which you can trigger the Force and make a 4/4. So with Kelren, you're able to drop him and then drop a 4/4 Force unit. Very good. Yeah, this deck's going to be good. I think red is the best color right now for Avar. It's probably not the best for getting her out deployed earlier, but I don't think this deck is really desperate for that, as it has ways to deal with units like open fire, force throw. I'm going to add more removal probably with the 1 cost deal 3. So you have a way to stabilize along the way and then get to her deploy, maybe on the 7 resource turn, or if anything, the 8 resource turn, which is totally fine. It's probably not as early as you want it to be, but let me tell you, by that time, all you need to do is swing one time with her and you've won the game. So, super cool deck. Next, we'll talk about that set 2 leader. You guys know, Han 2, worth the risk. So he is cheating out all this broken stuff that's new in the set. This build, I honestly just threw it together so fast. I didn't really think about this much. So it's probably not that good, but just looking at what we have on screen. So we got the new Bendu that was revealed this week. I had to have that in here. So on attack, he's dealing 3 damage to each other unit. I mean, he's probably not that good in this deck because you're cheating out all your units and they're going to have damage on them. So like, you're just going to kill your own units. I just wanted to have him in here because playing him for 7 is kind of insane. Having a 10-10 on the 7 resource turn is pretty crazy, and it has to be respected. Dealing 3 damage to each other unit is kind of risky on your side, but I mean, yeah. Like I said, I don't think he's meant to be in this deck. He might be better like in a grit deck somehow, like maybe I don't know. I just think, honestly, having him out on the 7 resource turn as a 10-8 is pretty crazy, and that's enough to run him. I mean, if you kill your own units, whatever, you have a 10-8 out on the board, swing for hella damage. So I think I just wanted to add him in here for that. Everything else is pretty standard. Blue specifically to have some removal, play your Lukes, your Redemptions. The new Plo Koon, I think I have him as a 1 of for no reason, but he's definitely probably a 3 of because you're playing a 5 cost. Let's see here. Yeah, you end up paying 5 to get a 8. He's got grit when the Force is with you, so obviously you keep the Force token when you play him, but you play him as a 8/6. That's pretty crazy at 5 resources. That's insane. It kind of reminds me of like Poe stats, except he's not having 8 attack on the. He's not going to have 8 power on the on attack. He's just going to always have it. So if somebody wants to ambush in him or swing into Plo Koon, like they're taking 8 damage, they're probably going to kill most of their units. So they're trying to kill this thing. So I love that. In here we've got Poe, some of the classic like Han 2 stuff, pillages and force throw for hand disruption, and then a cheesy sideboard that I threw together and didn't think about. So this deck I think is going to see play. This build is literally just thrown together. Still does very well. I mean, some of the stuff I'd probably take out. A lot of this is relevant to what the current meta is too. Like disabling Fangfighter, like do I really want to play that? Not really, but I mean, it's very good right now into the meta. It could be switched out for Confiscate maybe. But I think it's fine just playing Disabling Fang in this upgrade meta with the Vader pilots being popular. I think next set Vader pilot's still going to be popular. I don't really see anything except, well, I guess those big space whales are going to be a real big issue for Vader, but I think they're willing to play against that. The deck's still going to be good and relevant, so you definitely want some upgrade removal. But yeah, nothing really fancy here, honestly. Just classic Han 2, just throwing in the some of the Force pack that we got in this set with the new Mace Windu. You can play him as a 6/4 on the 5 resource turn. It's pretty good. You have your Poes in here to play on 4, and then Obi-Wan to play on 5. So you're really doing what this deck wants to do. All I really did was just throw some more big broken units in it, and yes, it's that much better. And it can survive off not playing the 30 HP base because you have some restore in here. So having the Force token you're gonna want, you need that Force token for things like the Kiadi and the Mace Windu. So you don't really need the Force every single turn, but once you start getting later in the game, you'll need to use the Force. So I think it's a strong deck. I think someone's gonna build this and make it insane. I don't think this is the best build at all, especially because we don't have all the cards revealed yet. So. But this is early access to what we think is going to be very good. So, and lastly, I'll show Talzin ECL. So this leader in some testing online, just very friendly, casual testing. This deck actually impressed me. I actually think it's one of the better leaders so far. Basically, your goal is to have some removal here. Not a whole lot. It's got your barrages, it's got your powers. The Drain Essence card has been okay. I don't really know if we need the Force token every single turn all the time. I think it's really just a 2-cost 2 damage card, and you use the Force to use Mother Talzin's ability to give it -1. So the way I see it is it's a 2-cost deal 3 damage. You're dealing 2, but you're giving the unit -1. I found her cleaning up units. Like there was a time where my opponent ECL or ambushed in a Plo Koon. He had 1 HP left. I said okay and used her action to kill him. That felt amazing. With her ability finishing off units, I think Gideon's pretty good in here too. You can ECL Gideon. It's not really your ECL target. I did throw 3 timers in here because what we really want to do is get the new Vader unit out while we're ambushing so we can give one of their units a shield. On attack, defeat an enemy unit with a shield token on it. Key thing being here, defeat an enemy unit so it can be a leader. If they deploy their leader, you timely or ECL in this Vader, it dies. And you can give that unit a shield, and on attack you defeat it, so you're not actually even losing your shield on your Vader. It's amazing. You're killing 2 units essentially because you can ambush into a little, maybe they have a Sentinel. Ambush into a Sentinel. Even putting a Sentinel in front of you doesn't. You can still kill their leader because you're ambushing for 5, and on attack you're giving the shield and then swinging. And when you order it in the operations that you should, you're killing 2 units from 1 ECL. It's better than Wrecker. It's way better than Wrecker. Why? Because no damage on the Wrecker or on the unit. No damage on the Vader. So it's very good, no doubt. Let me see. Well, sorry, give a shield. Yeah, so on attack, yep, that works. That's how that'll work. So the Vader won't have any damage on him. It's very good. Then you have the normal 7-cost Vader, who's just dropping units, so he can fish for the Phase 3 Dark Troopers or the Pike Sentinels to stop some damage and get a Sentinel in their way. Got 1 Snoke and 1 Avenger here. This deck is very early testing. I haven't even made a sideboard. The Long Pike, I think, just goes along with the ECL package. I mean, he's a good smuggle out too when you need some units, and maybe you're low on your hand. Pershing's here to draw cards. He's still very good, still going to be relevant. And then everything else, like the ramp, you're going to need. I wonder if, like, maybe with ramp being in here, I need to maybe put a little bit more top-heavy stuff. Maybe we could fit in another Avenger. But I think having 3 of the 6-cost Vaders is pretty important. So maybe I can dwindle with some of these numbers, get a good sideboard in here. I think this deck will be pretty good. I think Snoke goes pretty good with Mother Talzin's ability. But it's not game changing, it just gets the math down a little bit to where maybe with her ability you're able to kill more. Make more use out of a late game good barrage. I don't know. So far it's pretty good. It's not really like trying to be aggro. It's trying to control and get to some of your late game bigger units and then just do what it does and swing for damage. I don't know if like ECL is the way to go. Like I said, I don't feel like you need her ability every single turn. She's just a solid 5-cost deploy. Swinging for 3 and giving something -1, it just throws off some of the math to make for a good barrage. I do think that Children's decent in this deck because you have enough blue to get him to 6, as long as you're drawing your cards. But yeah, I think she's going to be surprisingly good. I think when she was revealed, people were not so high on her. But now that we've gotten some leaders revealed, I'm already like thinking that she's going to be pretty solid. So I think having that 7 booty on deploy is so good. It keeps you safe from a lot. Obviously Quinlan, you're still susceptible to that Plo Koon ambush, but I think she's solid. I like the colors that she's in. 5-cost deploy. It's probably not better than Kira. And Kira's probably going to be the better build for this type of thing at the end of the day, but you also want to think about future sets, because eventually that's going to rotate out. But she'll be good. I think the math being thrown off with the -1 is pretty good. It definitely surprises some enemies, I think, or some opponents. Like, they're not expecting that unit to, or they're expecting a unit to survive, and then you use her ability, and then it's like, oh wait, I didn't think about that. So it's very situational, her ability. You're not using it every single turn, and if you are, awesome. But as you can see, your force units are late game force units, so you're not really gaining the force using that force base. And the only card in here that's generating the force is the Drain Essence. So it's not really like, if anything, you're using her ability more when you're deploying her. When on attack, she's doing the same thing. So cool decks. I think there's potential. 3 decks that I think already have some juice. Will they beat the top meta decks right now? I don't know. I haven't really gone through the gauntlet testing them. We're not really quite there. We're just kind of fiddling with the cards and throwing together some decks that we think will be pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you've been brewing. What do you think about these lists? Take the links. Go play some Carabas games. Enjoy yourselves. Let me know what you think. Thanks for stopping by, and I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the views, comments, and new subs. And guys, if you enjoy the content, please hit that sub again. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.